G'day guys, it's Liam here, and today this is just going to be a bit of a different video. This is going to be behind the scenes of actually working on the layout. So this will be a good chance for us to sort of discuss a few modelling techniques that we have that might be useful to you guys watching this. So yeah, tonight we've sort of got the Glanmor end of the layout set up, and yeah, we'll start talking about what exactly it is we're doing in just a moment. So as you guys will probably understand, there's actually quite a lot of planning that goes into these sorts of things. So at the moment what we're actually doing is I'm going to finish off this seam wall along here, and Matthew is going to start making the landform for around here. And so what we're actually currently doing is actually researching exactly what it is that we're after in terms of how we want the beach to look. So we're using the old Google images to sort of get some inspiration for sand dunes and what Welsh sand dunes actually, you know, look at as many characteristics of them as possible. But we're quite lucky because the sand on our local beaches here in Christchurch in New Zealand is actually very, very, very similar to Welsh beach sand that we can see at least. See, through making a YouTube channel where I post occasional vids about the layout, obviously, there's actually quite a lot you don't actually see behind the scenes. Like, for example, this is some sand that me and Matthew went and collected the other night. This is Christchurch sand. So we got two 2-litre ice cream containers of that to make the beach on here. Probably gone a bit overkill on our supply, but we figured that too much is better than not enough. So we've got some of that, and if we bring it across, you'll see that if you note the colour of that sand there, you'll see that on a lot of sort of Welsh beaches, camera's probably not picking this up too well, but it's the same sort of colour. So we're sort of, yeah, going with that. Right, so what I've just done is taken these steps here, and I've just stuck this wee lamp on. It's one of the Train Save working ones, and I've just stuck that in there with a little bit of contact adhesive. So waiting for that to dry. Over here, what are you doing, Matthew?
Making hill risers. So these are just going to be it's like what it is like a foam covered with
like foam
cards, papery stuff. Foam board, yeah. So basically I'm just going to make little bits of that, kind of crisscross them with other bits just to kind of keep it nice and steady.
Like a skeleton.
Like a skeleton. And then along here we're just going to have a bit of probably ply just to kind of make the edge nice. So yeah, I'm just basically working up the hills now.
Sweet as. Rightio, so Matthew's now built up the skeleton a bit more and is now sitting heavy things on top of it while the glue dries. To hold it down, would I be right in saying that, Matthew?
Yeah, would be right in saying that.
And I've come along and I've now extended the sea wall to go up along here. So we've got a nice sloping section here because there'll be a wee hill in behind here, just very slight. So that should be quite good. So the glue's all drying on that. And I've just taken a piece of foam board and chamfered the end so that it slopes. And just stuck that in there to fill the gap because it was a right angle. But this actually comes off on a nicer angle. So I've done that, and so now this here will sit that right. We'll sit something like that along there. So it's all coming together now, and yeah, we'll keep you posted. Right, so now it's the next morning, and next thing I've come along and done is started taking bits of chopstick. See, these taper, but taking the fatter ends, painted them with a track weathering pen, and then given them a rub with the wet paint so that it kind of rubs a bit off and makes it look a bit weathered and a bit more scratched. And so I've stuck that one on there in between the sheets, and I've also stuck this corner one in. So that's going to, obviously this is also going to have to be painted. And I've also done an experimental 5mm set strip of this Will's plastic card along the top, and I think that looks quite nice, so that'll just go beneath the capping stones. And then over here, we've now got a completed hill here, just a little mound you could say, well, skeleton at least for that. And then here, Matthew is cutting out a section of this foam board, which will slot.
Sit in like this.
I'll take that out. It's going to sit in there, and then that's going to be cut to shape, to size along a long ways as well, and then it'll be cut and sanded down so that it will actually have a slight slope on the beach where the sand is. So that should be quite nice as well. So I've now painted the sea wall. It's just a first coat. It still needs a wee bit more of a going over, but it's all one colour sort of thing now. Over here, Matthew's just now taken this piece of foam board and he's got the craft knife fully extended and cutting along what will be eventually this, cutting along where this blue line is, to actually make a slope that'll be very slightly chamfered so that the sand will go down on the slope towards the ocean. So that's actually slowly getting there. As you can see, this end hasn't been touched much, but this end here is slowly going down, and this will be sanded obviously, and probably
Sanded and sand?
Yeah, probably even varnished just to hold it all together. But yeah, it's getting there, and then it'll be covered in sand. Right, so now guys, what I've done is I've now taken these strips of this Will's plastic card, and it goes all the way along the top here. I've also put all the chopsticks in, all the wooden posts. It goes all the way along there, up to there. I still need to do these bits here, along the top of the seawall, but I've done that all the way along and along this piece here. It's all been painted as well, as you can see, and I've also done some capping along the top. You can see these capping stones, and basically what they are is it's actually this Will's sheet, which is like tiles, and what you do is you can actually break bits off. You don't even have to cut it. It's probably a bit unprofessional, but you just stick it in the vise and bend, and because these got three-dimensional, I'm just going to focus, scored lines, it cuts straight along. You get a really nice straight cut just by bending it. So then what I've been doing is just sanding it and sticking it on and then painting it. So that's basically that. As you can see, this is also this bit of foam board is now stuck on. As you can see, if I can get the camera low enough without shutting the lid, I don't know how well that's going to focus, but you can see that does actually slope up. It's a lot more visible in real life. But yeah, that's looking quite good as well. So that's stuck down now. Then I've also done a bit more on these steps here. So the lamp's there, obviously. I've given that a little bit of a paint. I've also painted the inside of where the walls light stone, and gone over the top of the walls with dark stone. I'm just waiting for that paint to dry, but I'll actually probably give that a weather as well. So a wee technique I actually have is that if something's dark in colour and then I paint it in light stone or a light colour, I don't paint it entirely if I want it to be weathered, because then when it comes to weathering over the top you don't notice. Like for example, these panels here were actually, you can see it now that I talk about it, that was grey originally underneath there. I painted it mostly, but then when it came to weathering it, those patches you actually see are a mix of wash and grey back, bottom colour, and so you wouldn't even know. So that's quite a good wee effect. Coming round, I've just added the dark stone on there and added another piece of Will's stone sheet in there to kind of just add to the back of it, and that's had a coat of paint as well, as you can see. So now all I have to do for this sea wall is to complete the capping along here, and to zoom back down to the other end, complete the edging along here, possibly put another post there, along there, and put the capping stones along the top here, and also I'll put some stones on the back of this as well. And so then that's pretty much it done. Well, the sea wall at least. Obviously I need to paint the steps. I'm going to paint the steps brown. And just do an overcoat where the light stone is overspilled. And then I'll be onto the boardwalk across the tracks and the ramp up to the platform. So that's sort of where I'm up to now. Right, so another thing I thought I'd try and sort of explain while I'm here is what I sort of plan to do off this edge here. And basically, I tried to explain it in the last one, but I think I can better explain it now that I've got a drawing in front of me. So this is the current arrangement with Glanmor. So you can see there's the line along here, where the loop is, and there's obviously the basic track diagram. The line comes around in curves like that, as you can see there, and then it's a really sharp corner onto this baseboard here, which runs perpendicular, and then it's like a question mark curve onto Redfern, which is here. Now what the plan is, if I flip the page, is now this is Glanmor yet again, but to put a diagonal section in. This isn't to scale, it'll be a bit bigger than this, but basically that's the idea, to ease out this curve a lot, and then have the section, this section here, because the track's only glued down, there's no scenic work done on that at all yet. The track's only glued down as well, like with PVA, so you can pull that up easily. Is then to basically take that and stick it onto there, so that will give a scenic section the same length as that, between the two stations, which would probably be quite a bit better, and it would mean it would be a bit more realistic, and it would spread things out a bit more, and add a bit more interest at the show. So that's the loose plan now, is to do that. So I might go in and get those baseboard there built up in the next couple of weeks or so, and hopefully that should be quite good. Yeah, like I said, it'll ease out that curve so much, because having a track joint on a curve like that between baseboards isn't fun. But there it will just help quite a lot. So yeah, I think that's going to be the plan. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Another thing we've also come in and done is I whipped up this wall here, this retaining wall, which is curved and follows the track round the siding and links up just here to the retaining wall on the cattle dock, and this retaining wall will run all the way along here, and it'll also have the wooden poles in between the gaps all the way along. And if I come round a little bit more, what we'll see is we've now done a bit more on the sea wall. I've now got the capping done all along here, all the way along here, and I just need to do this section across the top and add in the that top edge, those edging stones, I think they're called, along there. So other than that, that's pretty much done. I can take this and I'll just slots in there nicely. I'll just push that in a little bit. So that's how it's all coming together now. I think it looks quite good personally. And I've also just been, if I flip this over just real quick, I've also been just running a few trains, had the controller hooked up, just to make sure everything all still works, which it does. So yeah, that's sort of it for now. Alright, well guys, I think this video has actually gone on for quite a while now, so I might call it a day here on this video, and possibly make a second one of the same style if you guys like it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and yeah, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye guys.